What about that cashless society? No dinner for us. And is Ellen in real trouble?
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Hello and welcome to The Hopefulist. It is Wednesday, August 5th, 2020, day 298 of Gotta Get on Ellen. I'm going to stray a little bit from my usual format today. We were without power all day yesterday from Hurricane Tropical Storm Isaias, something like that. I don't know why they give them such difficult names to pronounce. Baffling to me. Nobody can say them. There was a hurricane yesterday. So we lucked out with not having any damage. We really prepared for this. We tied down our table to the deck and we moved everything underneath the deck that could be blown away. And, you know, a couple of things blew over. A lot of people in the area did not prepare as well as we did. And they then posted pictures of their furniture blowing all over the place. So we did pretty well here. Very windy. In fact, winds were clocked in Ship Bottom, New Jersey at 107 miles per hour. Ship Bottom is directly across the bridge from us. So we had to have been very close to that, if not the same. Yeah, it was fun. No, not fun. But we were out of power. Power went out a little after 11 yesterday. And I had planned all this work that I was going to get done since the weather was going to be awful. And then, of course, when the power goes out, you have no Wi-Fi and you can't really do anything. So then I'm just on my phone all day, draining my phone. And then there's no way to power it back up. So today I'm wondering, should I get all the work done yesterday that I had planned to do? Should I get all the work done that I had planned to do yesterday today? But it is like the most gorgeous day out. And that's the odd thing about this storm yesterday is, you know, since we didn't have any power, I couldn't turn the TV on like I typically do because a lot of times I just do that to drown out the noise. So we went into the bedroom, Tucker and I, to attempt a nap. And the side bedroom windows is where the wind was coming from. And all I could hear was the windows rattling, and sometimes like the wind was so strong I could hear like that train sound that they talk about with tornadoes. So it was a little unsettling. So I knew that the noise wasn't that bad in the living room. So I said to Tucker, let's go to try nap in the living room today. So we stretched out on the couch, and I did fall asleep for a little bit. Now, when I awoke, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Bright blue skies. Beautiful weather. Was a little windy still. Okay, it was still a lot windy. But it was amazing. It was like just gone. Everything gone. But we did not get our power back until a little after midnight. So that's what put me off my schedule today. And finally getting to my point, there will not be a blog post today. I did not plan ahead. I have been very lax in that. I've been writing it in the morning on the day of. And since we had such a rough night of sleep, I told my husband to not wake me when he left from work, when he typically does around 4, a little after 4 a.m. It gives me plenty of time to get everything done and write my blog and plan for the show. And today, since I didn't get up at my normal time, I ended up sleeping till about 6:30 because it was just such a rough night of sleep. You know, it wasn't even that it was that hot. I mean, it was hotter than usual because we're used to the air, but there was a nice breeze. I mean, thank goodness the humidity kind of dropped off. But the worst part was, you know, with all of our windows open, all you could hear was everything going on outside. could hear the neighbors having a conversation next door to me, having a conversation with the guy next door to him. Joe said at one point he heard somebody pull over on the side of the road and make a phone call. People were still shooting off fireworks. I guess they figured there was nothing else to do with the power out. You really have no idea how much we depend on our power until something like this happens for long term. We've been very lucky around here when there are storms and such. Typically, if we do lose our power, it's like for just a couple of minutes. I think the longest until yesterday was about a half hour. So yesterday was much different for us. So after I woke up, I had gone outside. Well, I made myself a salad because, everything was in the fridge and nothing needed to be heated. So that was fine. Then I went out on the porch, was hanging out there for a little bit, reading my book, checking things out on my phone. And then I realized I was probably going to lose my phone. I wanted to power it up. So I thought I'd go take a little ride in the car so I could power up my my phone and my Kindle because I figured I'd be using them a lot throughout the night. And then my friend Cheryl had offered to let me come over and hang out in her driveway. So that's what I did. So I had a couple of drinks over at Cheryl's house. And then, of course, when I get back home, I'm like, well, I don't really have anything for dinner now. I was talking to my husband. I said, see if you can pick up some fast food, see if you can get something from Wawa. Everything is closed. I mean, New Jersey as a whole really hit hard with this storm and a lack of power. I believe there was 1.2 million people without power at some point yesterday. So when he got home, I'm like, I don't see any fast food bags in your hand. He goes, yeah, everything's closed. Everything's closed. The only thing that I knew from Facebook that was open was a pizza joint down the street from us. But they were taking cash only because they couldn't run credit cards. Which brings me to my point of, how are we feeling about this cashless society now? What do we do when something like this happens and we can't access our cards? It also makes me think I really should keep some cash in the house for emergencies. It's hard for me to do that because I spend it. Yes, I have no self-control when it comes to cash. But yeah, it's something that we probably should do. I had taken a couple $100 out when the quarantine first hit, just as a, precaution that if there was something to go wrong or whatever, we at least had some money on us. And I probably should do that again. I need to put it somewhere and forget that I have it. That's the hard part, forgetting that I have it. So we couldn't find any dinner. We ended up not going to the pizza joint. Joe's just like, well, I'm just going to eat whatever's in the fridge. It's fine. We had some leftover spaghetti. He mixed that up with the extra sauce. Ugh, not me. He's like, this is good. I'm like, it can't be good. Cold leftover spaghetti cannot be good. But I had a sandwich, and that was not on my diet. It's ironic a little bit that I was talking about intentional eating yesterday, and then I unintentionally went way off my eating plan. Yeah, well, sometimes in a hurricane. I reasoned with myself that it was a hurricane. And the thing that stinks the most is I was so good up until 5 o'clock. Up until I opened that first adult beverage, I was like, I'm good. I can stay on this. But I just didn't know what I was going to have for dinner. Joe was like, we have corn on the cob. I'm like, I'm not eating corn cold. Ew. I mean, ew. So we made it. We did make sure to eat the ice cream. That's the other thing. I had to go off my eating plan because we couldn't let the ice cream go to waste, right? So I'm hearing some people are saying we should throw everything out that was in the fridge. Some people are saying I think it'll be okay. Joe's usually very cautious about this stuff. Now, I've been using my creamer all morning. Nothing has happened as of yet. I don't know. We'll see. The freezer, I think, is okay. I checked it when we got up a little after 1, and everything seemed frozen still. So, and when it comes to the fridge, I had gone into the fridge about 8 o'clock last night to get a glass of iced tea. It was still cold. So, and then the power came back on 4 hours later. I don't know. I don't know what I should do. I don't want to throw out a bunch of stuff if I don't need to. I guess we'll see what happens. Wanted to talk a little bit about Ellen. Man, have you heard the controversy? All kinds of accusations of a toxic environment working on her show, that she is really this huge diva behind the scenes. And the ironic part is that she has the be kind motto, where everybody's like, yeah, she's real kind. You know, we've been hearing rumors about this a little bit here and there, probably for the past couple of years. But this has really, really come to a head. And I heard that one of the reasons that employees are speaking out so much is because, and I didn't read all into it, but I read a quick article saying that, you know, a lot of her staff was very upset because there was no information about how their pay was going to be handled during the pandemic while everybody was on quarantine. So I don't know if she just didn't pay them, just didn't let them know that they weren't being paid, or if there was some kind of, you know, lag with getting them their regular paychecks. I don't know what the situation was, but I did hear that that was part of what was really upsetting people on her staff, and I guess maybe caused them to turn a little bit more to be like, yeah, you know what? It's been a little rough here on the set. I'm even hearing rumors that the show will be canceled. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. As of this morning, some stars, some celebrities are coming out in defense of Ellen. So we'll see how this all shakes out. But yeah, definitely will impact my gotta get on Ellen countdown, right? At almost day 300, I don't know if I can get on if it's, you know, I hope it's not canceled. It's a good show. I enjoy the show. But everything's been so different now. I hope people get back to their regular place of employment soon. I love Kelly and Ryan, but man, it is just a mess with the two of them being at home. I mean, they're talking all over each other, and then they stop both at the same time to let the other one talk, and then they both start talking together at the same time again. I mean, it's a mess. I see that they're doing it on, what is that show called? Because I try The View. I try to get that show out of my head completely. And when I say I see, it's not because I'm watching it. It's because I've turned on the television and it's just on. And then I change it quickly. I used to be a fan of the show, but I just can't deal with it anymore. Oh, my gosh, those ladies. Oh, they make me crazy. But it looks like those people are all at home as well. So I don't know if that's going any better than Live with Kelly and Ryan, but that's not going well at all, in my opinion. So since we were without power yesterday, I thought a fun topic would be to see, what do you eat when you have no power? What is it that you decide to do for dinner? I got a couple of suggestions. Salmon and zucchini on the grill. That would have been great if we had salmon and zucchini. But if that's something that you have, that's awesome. Kathy says barbecue. You can cook on the stove top too, just light with a match. Yeah, we do have a gas stove, and I had brought that up to Joe, and I don't know, it makes me a little nervous. Lauren says, do you have a grill? It's always my go-to. Deborah said salad, which I did have for lunch, and I considered having another one for dinner, and then, like I said, I was just like, you know, all right, it's a hurricane comfort food kind of day. Oh, my goodness, I find a reason constantly to go off my eating with intention plan. Do as I say, not as I do, you know? Right? Come on. I'm trying. But, yeah, grilling would be great. But, you know, we were a little hesitant about bringing things out of the freezer. First, we didn't want to open it. You know, and that's where we would have found, like, our burgers and hot dogs and all that kind of stuff. And even the rolls we typically keep in the freezer. We didn't want to keep opening and closing that. We wanted to keep it as cold as possible in there. And then, you know, we would have had to take in the burgers out, and we have like a stack of frozen burgers on top of each other. We had to pry them apart, whatever. And I just figured I'd rather not mess with them to keep them more safe so we wouldn't have to throw them out. And now I'm hearing that food in the freezer can be kept for 24 to 48 hours if you don't open the freezer. And we only opened it once, again, to get the ice cream out. And that was very soft. So that scared my husband. He's like, oh, the rest of the food. I'm like, ice cream is soft to begin with. Of course, it's going to melt first. So we'll see what we're going to do. We now just have to decide what we're going to do with the refrigerated items. So that's about all I got for you today. I kept putting off writing the blog post, and the longer I put it off, the longer it was going to take to get the podcast on. And finally, I just decided, why don't I just come on and have a potpourri, a little just discussion, just a little chit-chat of things that are happening. So, let me know how you like this format. Do you miss the blog post for today? I mean, I still got the topic in, and not a lot of people responded to it. Everybody was I guess nobody was busy, really, now that I'm thinking about it. Nobody had anything to do. So, that's it for today. So I will come back tomorrow, full force, big blog post, talking about living with intention, and our focus on health will continue. So it is Wednesday. It is hump day. We are halfway through the week, just 2.5 more days, well, maybe 3, till the freaking weekend, and then we will be good to go. My husband is turning 50 on Saturday. The old man. I'm not going to point out the fact that I've been 50 for a couple of months, but Ooh, big birthday. Big birthday coming up. So, whatever you do, go out there today and be your badass self. You know I'm cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
Hooray for power!